Hi everyone, myself Karthikeyan. Now I am presenting a project report on ABC call volume trend. These are the table of contents we are going to see in detail in further slides. Now we will take a glance at this table of contents. At first, the project description. In this section we can see the problem statement. Next we can see the way of approach for solving the problem statement. Next, tech stack used. In this slide we can see the various tools and softwares used in the analysis. Then we are going to see the detailed analysis carried on this project with a step-by-step procedure. Finally, we are going to conclude on this project. Next, coming to the project description. The project will help you understand how customer service teams handle phone calls. We will look at data for 23 days including details like agent names, how long customer wait, when calls started, how long they lost, and when they are answered or transferred. Customer service teams are super important. They use data and feedback to make sure customers have a great experience. They do things like running customer programs, organizing data, talking with the company, and figuring out how customers interact with the business. Today, there are cool AI tools that make customer experience even better. These include things like smart call routing, guessing what customer might need, automated repetitive tasks, and use voice prompts to guide callers. Customer service reps, also known as call center agents, are super important in a CX team. They handle all sort of support requests like emails, calls, and social media messages. Our project mainly focuses on helping customers who call in. We want to make sure they feel welcomed and happy so they become loyal fans of our company. Advertising is a big deal for any business. It's how people learn first about our product and services and decide if they like us. Businesses target different groups of people with their ads like local, regional, national, or even global audiences. We use lot of different ways to advertise like in newspaper, magazines, on TVs or radio, and even online. In the world of advertising, competition is tough and many companies are eager to reach the same group of people. That's where our analytical skill comes in handy. We want to find the best place to advertise where we can attract customers without spending too much money. In this project, we will use our analytical skills to look at patterns in the number of calls our CX team received. Then we will use the information to learn useful insights. Moving on to the approach, the methods used for analysis is to understand the data set by using descriptive statistics. The first one is to display the trends within the data. The second one is to determine the minimum number of agents required to maintain the service levels. When it comes to the model building methods, I used basic arithmetic operations and average functions as simpler methods to figure out the minimum number of agents needed. And when it comes to difficulties, ensuring the quality of our data is crucial for accurate analysis. The reliability of our conclusion relies on the validity of our assumption. We adapt to changing services level standards and dynamic nature of call traffic patterns. In summary, we analyzed incoming call data to improve the customer experience through descriptive statistics, visualization, and optimization techniques. Challenges included ensuring data quality and adjusting to fluctuating call volume patterns. Moving on to the tech stack used, I have used Canva and Microsoft Excel to do this analysis. I selected Canva for its extensive template collection and user-friendly interaction, which streamline the process of creating visually appealing reports. In our project, we combined Canva's visualization features with Microsoft Excel's robust function for data analysis and computation. To sum up, we leveraged Canva for creating visually appealing reports using its design tools and templates. Meanwhile, Microsoft Excel served as a backup tool for computation and data analysis are required. Both Canva and Excel meet all project requirements, eliminating the need for additional hardware or software. Moving on to the insight, our first task is to find the average call duration. Determine the average call duration of the agent spent answering incoming calls for each time slot. Additionally, calculate the typical duration of calls within each time slot. Coming to the Excel. This is what the data set we have got. Here the agent name, agent ID. This is the customer phone number. Queue time means the customer waits until the call picked by the customer agent. That is mentioned in seconds, how many seconds they have waited. Then the date and time. This is the at what time they have called. This is the time bucket. That means that is time range during which time they have called. And this is the duration in hours, minutes and second format, and the same thing which is in seconds format. Here this is the call status, whether they have answered, whether the agent is answered the call, abandoned or rejected or transferred the call. Then wrapped up, what action he has been taken after answering the call. If the call is wrapped up by the agent, or it is auto wrapped, or it is transferred, etc., will be known here. Ringing means will it ringed during the call. Then this is IVR duration. That means interaction duration between the customer and the agent. So this is our first task. To note the average of call duration, I have included the time bucket column and also calls in seconds. Here I have used also the call status to know how many number of calls that has been answered, and I took the average of that answered calls. So you can see here I have used the time bucket in rows, call seconds in average in a value column to get the average and average of call duration. In filter I have used call status. I have chosen here answered. So here you can see the time bracket 19 to 20, that is 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. has the highest highest average of call duration in seconds were recorded. So when it comes to the lowest, 12 to 13, that is 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. has the lowest average of call seconds. Coming to the report. By doing this analysis, the data reveals significant disparities in call duration across different time periods. Specifically, call exhibits the longest average duration between 7 to 8 p.m. That is the time bucket is 19 to 20, while the shortest average duration occurs between 12 to 1 p.m. that is time bucket 12 to 13. These findings indicate diverse patterns in call lengths associated with various times of the day. Factors such as fewer available agents, more complex calls, or increased client engagement during the nighttime hours may contribute to longer average call duration. Conversely, a lower call volume or quicker resolution of customer inquiries may explain the shorter average duration during the afternoon. So this is what I have performed in the Excel. So coming to the task 2 is to analyze the call volume. Create a visual representation showing the total number of calls received during each time interval using the time bucket to symbolize different time periods. Let's go to the Excel. So this is the task 2. I have took the time bucket and a call status to know the number of calls received during the time bucket. So here you can see in the time bracket, see in pivot table I have taken time bucket in the rows and call status in the values section. Here I used the count function to know the number of calls received. Here you can see here the highest number of calls received is from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. that is 14,626. Here you can see I have created the same chart here. Here 11 to 12 has the highest. When it comes to the lowest, 20 to 21, that is 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. has the lowest number of calls received by the agents. So coming to the Excel, by doing this analysis, the study reveals fluctuations in call volume across different time intervals. Specifically, calls are most frequent between 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., while they are the least common between 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. These findings underscore the importance of understanding temporal patterns in call traffic to effectively allocate resources and ensure prompt customer service. By aligning staffing levels with peak call hours, organization can enhance customer satisfaction and operational efficiency. Moving on to the task 3, manpower planning. To reduce the abandon rate to 10%, we need to allocate personnel between 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. for each time bucket in a way that ensures at least 90 out of 100 calls are answered. In the other ways, we need to calculate the number of agents needed in each time bucket to achieve a target answer rate of 90%. Coming to the Excel. So I have taken to know the to get that at least 90 calls should be answered out of 100 to reduce the abandoned percent from 30% to 10%. I have taken time and date, call duration in hours, minutes and seconds, and call status. Here you can see I have taken date and time in the row section. Here it automatically displayed in hours, minutes, seconds and days. So I have compressed here. So I have taken the call status in the column, and here the call duration I have taken in the values to get the number of count. After that, to know the number of calls received, that means answered, abandoned, transferred, I have done the average function. So you can see here average from F3 to F25. So in the same way I have done for all the columns. After that, in order to know in the call status in percentage, I have just divided this first column divided by total number, that is 1496 were abandoned out of 5130, that is total number of calls. So I got 29%. In the same manner, for the answered call, 3585 were answered out of 5130, that is 70%. Here we need to increase this 70% to 90%, and we need to decrease this abandoned call from 29% to 10%. So here the transferred percentage is 1%. Here you can see, to meet the goal of reducing the abandon rate to 10%, we need to determine the minimum number of agents required in each time bucket. Here are the key factors to consider. Agents work 6 days a week. On average, agent takes 4 unscheduled leaves per month. Agents have a total working time of 9 hours per day, with 1.5 hours allocated for lunch and snacks. Agents typically engage with customers or users for 60% of their working hours, equivalent to 7.5 hours. A month comprising 30 days. Considering all these factors, we have to calculate the necessary number of agents per time bucket to ensure that at least 90 out of 100 calls are answered. This calculation will incorporate the actual time agents spend communicating with customers or users during their week hours. We are coming to the Excel. So this is what the assumption. So actually the agents works 60% of 7.5 hours, 7.5 hours. That is 60% of 7.5 hours is, you can see the 60 by 100 into 7.5. within that 7.5 hours they have worked only 60%. So how many hours they have worked? So actually they have worked is 4.5 hours. You can see the formula, 60 divided by 100 into 7.5. So actually the agents are working for 4.5 hours daily. To know the average of call duration in seconds, we have done in the task 1. I have took the same one. The average of call seconds that were answered. In order to increase the call rate that means agent answered rate to from 70% to 90%, I have used this formula. I have calculated this total number of calls received into this average call duration into 0.9, that is I want the increase rate to 90%, divided by this all this average duration is all in seconds, so I want in hours, so divided by 3600 means this is the actual rate from seconds to hours. If we want in minutes, then I can use 360, but I want in hours, so I have used 3600. After that, the hours needed for 90% is 254. Let us round up this. So 255 hours all the agents need to work to get this answered rate from 70% to 90%. Then we need how many number of agents required to meet this 90%, that is 255 hours. So I have used this. I have just divided the hours needed for 90%, that is 255, divided by actual each agent is working per day, that is 4.5. So after dividing that, I have got the total number of agent required is 57. So this is what the answer for this question. To get the 90% of work to be done is required by at least 57 number of agents is required to complete this task. Coming to the report. Under the given assumption, each agent working 6 days a week for 7.5 hours a day, with 60% at the time devoted to incoming calls, that is equivalent to 4.5 hours per day on calls. We calculated the total number of hours needed to manage incoming calls across all time buckets to be 255 hours. Based on the calculation, approximately 57 agents, that is 57 call agents, are required to ensure sufficient coverage and maintain a service level where at least 90 out of 100 calls are answered. This analysis supports effective workforce planning, the resource allocation, enabling us to meet call volume expectation and ensure customer satisfaction. Moving on to the task 4, night shift manpower planning. To maintain the maximum abandon rate at 10% and devise a personal strategy for each time bucket, let's address the additional 30 calls made between 9 pm to 9 am. Here is the proposed strategy. Daytime, that is 9 am to 9 pm. Allocate agents based on current call volume within these hours. Ensure staffing levels meet demand to keep the abandon rate below 10%. Night time, 9 pm to 9 am the next day. Currently no agents are available during these hours, resulting in unanswered calls and a poor customer experience. To address this, consider adding personnel to handle the extra 30 calls made overnight. Options include hiring overnight agents or setting up call forwarding to manage after hour calls effectively. Ensure these additional personnel are equipped to handle inquiries promptly to maintain customer satisfaction. By implementing this strategy, we can uphold a 10% abandon rate across all time periods, ensuring a positive customer experience around the clock. Next, moving to the Excel. Here in the task 4, we have taken the same pivot column we have created in the task 3. Here we have the total number of abandoned calls, answered calls, and transfer calls, and also the total number of calls received. Here, to know the average, I have done the same, that is I have used the function average from B3 to B25. The same manner I have to call, and like in the task 3, I have took this percentage, that is by dividing this actual abandoned average of abandoned calls divided by average of total number of calls. So here we came to know that the average working hour in the last task itself, that is 60% of 7.5 hours actually. So I have used this formula, 60 divided by 100 into 7.5, and the average of call duration is, as usual, we have taken from the task 1. To know the average number of calls that is received during the night is, that is 30%. Usually in the task they have mentioned 30% of the 30 number of calls were received during the night time. So I have used this formula 0.3, that is 30% of this one total number of calls, that is 5130. So I used to get 1539 number of calls were received, average number of calls were received during the night time. To increase the answer call, that is 90 out of 100 calls should be answered, I have used this formula. That means I have calculated this 1539, that is average number of calls at night into total number of into this average number of average call duration I want in 90%, so into 0.9 divided by, I want this whole in hours. So to get a 90% call rate at night, 76 hours needed to be worked by the agents. So in order to get how many agents should be need to work 76 hours, so I have divided this 76 divided by 4.5. So after that I got 17 extra agents needed to work during the night shift, so that 90 out of 100 calls were answered during that time, so that the company profit will be increased and the customer satisfaction will arise. Coming to the Excel. Based on the provided assumption and estimating the average number of calls made during the night shift to be 1539, we determined that approximately 17 agents are required to achieve a 90% call rate. This approach enables effective scheduling, ensures sufficient coverage to address call volume needs, and maintains service quality during the night shift. Moving to the last and final part of our presentation, that is result. This analysis has provided me with valuable insights into call volume trends, factors influencing call length, and effective personnel planning strategies. And its understanding how call volume fluctuates throughout the day enables me to allocate resources more efficiently to handle customer inquiries effectively. Analyzing conversation duration has enhanced by understanding of call complexity and customer engagement, allowing me to manage agent efforts more effectively. By employing straightforward strategies and embracing analytical methodologies, I have improved my personal planning skills and demonstrated flexibility in adapting to changing circumstances. Utilizing data-driven decision making, I can optimize operational efficiency and drive business success. Overall, this research has equipped me with invaluable knowledge to maximize call center productivity and deliver exceptional customer service. Thank you for this opportunity to present this project. Thank you.